My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Welcome back, folks. Hey, have you ever thought that investing in real estate's a little bit of a lonely game sometimes, and wouldn't it be nice to kind of partner up with some of your friends and associates and work together on growing something as a team? Well, today's special guest, zooming in from Henderson, Nevada, we got Cassidy Klundt, who is a real estate entrepreneur who has joined forces with some fellow real estate investors, and they are starting up Genwise Capital, and they're doing interesting things with fix and flips, and then they're going to be getting into multifamily properties a little bit further down the line. So, Cassidy, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Dave, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
So I want to ask you, I'm curious because, you know, a lot of real estate investors are kind of like the Lone Rangers. They're doing their own thing. They're going slow and steady and all that kind of good stuff. What was it that sparked you to kind of join forces with other people?
Yeah, I'll try and give a Cliff Notes version of this. I think my real estate journey didn't start too long ago. I think it occurred to me that at some point a 401k isn't going to save you. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are starting to make that. I share that messaging with whomever will listen because I really and truly believe real estate is where a lot of your investments should go. And so it dawned on me a couple of years back. It didn't really take immediate action. It wasn't until 2022 where I decided, you know what? Let me convert my primary residence to a short-term rental. Actually, it became a midterm rental and see what comes of it. Just learn a little bit. Well, in about 3 weeks, I was able to replace about a quarter, maybe just less than a quarter of my monthly salary.
Wow.
Based on the profit of that property, and said, okay, I think there's something here.
I think I'm liking this. Yeah.
So
So just out of curiosity, Cassidy, to back up. So you took your primary residence. Where did you live while you were renting it out?
We actually found a much larger home, which was what the family needed at the time. We needed some more space, maybe 7 minutes down the street.
Perfect. Got it. All right. So you got kind of hooked with replacing a quarter of your JOB income with real estate. What came next for you?
So it was interesting. I was all set to scale and build a property portfolio, either through just creative financing or just through, simple traditional acquisition. And as I got to thinking through scaling, I knew the importance of networking. And so I started getting out into the community, getting to meetup events, meeting like-minded individuals. And it probably wasn't but the third meetup, Dave, where I met a gentleman in real estate, very active, really more on the single family side, who said, if you want to scale, you really should think about multifamily. And it never really occurred to me. And so I said, okay, let me look into multifamily a little bit. And sure enough, I was all set to join a 3-day boot camp with Multifamily Mindset that was in town. Did that, learned a lot about cap rates, some of the different KPIs you think about, some of the different, capital measurements and things and returns. And it made a lot of sense to me. And so I understood the GP, the LP split, got into that real quick and said, man, this is really where you should park your money if you want passive investments. And even if you want to be a GP, this is it. So realized that the 3-day boot camp wasn't enough, but I also didn't want to spend 40 grand to officially join their mentorship. Probably hear that a lot from people. And I found out that there was a really cool boot camp on Bigger Pockets, and it was held by the DeRosa Group. And it's like an 8-week course. It's worked really well with my W-2. And that's actually how I met a couple of my business partners today as a part of Genwise Capital. Like-minded individuals, very similar backgrounds, had, a couple of properties, investment properties and things, jumped into multifamily for very similar reasons, realized scale was really going to be found in multifamily, and it's one of the most stable investment classes you can get. And so, throughout the course of this 8-week journey, we all were pretty active in the boot camp. I mean, those things are really what you make them. If you're active, you're asking a lot of questions, they're gonna,
Yeah, it's the eighty
deliver
twenty,
back to
right?
you.
So it's 80% of people that sign up for it don't do diddly squat. And then you got the keeners like you guys that are making stuff happen. Yeah.
You nailed it. And it's very quick to see who rises to the surface and who's really engaged. And so it was very organic for us to reach out to one another and just kind of chat a little bit towards the tail end of the boot camp and make the realization that there's synergies, conversations were simple and smooth and clear and aligned. And so let's turn this into something.
Cool. So when did you guys form Genwise?
So we formed Genwise back in February of this year.
Okay.
I guess unofficially, and then April became official. And
And
so very
where do you guys see taking the company as a group? Like what's your vision for your company? Early days, obviously, but where are you guys going?
Yeah, I would say in our first year, our aim is to acquire a couple of multifamily properties. We're thinking about just the 10 to 30 unit type properties. We've already started to build up a network of investors, just sharing just overall concepts of multifamily, really more educational as we're building from the ground up,
Yeah.
getting some interest from friends and family first. And it's predominantly in Albuquerque, New Mexico, as well as San Antonio, Texas. We're certainly not opposed to looking at some other areas, but want to kind of anchor on where boots on ground are within our team.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as we just kind of think about the first year, I think, acquiring anywhere from 10 to 30 units, I think is kind of goal number one for us. Of course, depends on the numbers. We've actually been in a few Bathos situations out in Phoenix
A
because that
few
was
what kind of situations?
best and final
Got it. Yeah.
situations with some of the brokers at Phoenix. Phoenix is an interesting market. I'm sure we could talk about that for a good hour if we're not careful.
Yeah. No, we'll be careful.
So, we've gone down the path of building out some things, just kind of isolating which markets do we want to be in.
Yeah.
Boots on ground was not in Phoenix. That was a little bit of a
So you're
out of
focusing on
bounds risk for
Albuquerque.
us. Yeah, so it's
Albuquerque's where
Albuquerque and it's San Antonio right now.
Okay. Now you were talking a little bit. You guys are doing something interesting. You're looking at doing a few fix and flips in the meantime as well within the group. Tell me a little bit about that and the thought process behind it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things there. So first and foremost, I think just building up a little bit of a groundswell in terms of cash amongst the business partners and I think that was important to us because we want to make sure that whatever investments we put in front of our investors, we're going in on as well. We got some skin in the game, and so
Yeah. Nope. It froze up on me a little bit there, Cassidy.
that was one part of it. But is kind of proof of concept from a GC perspective. And so as we aim to, pull some multifamily acquisitions in the near future, having that behind as a part of our foundation, we thought was pretty important for credibility.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Awesome. All right. So you want to take down 10 to 30 units, ideally in your first year or so. You want to do a few flips to create some cash for the group and have skin in the games for those properties that you're looking at. What are you guys doing, or how are you guys kind of figuring out who does what? Because I think you're still working a W-2, and a couple of the other guys are as well. So is there one person that's kind of full-time focused on this and the other ones are part-time, or is everybody kind of how do you divvy up responsibilities?
It's a beautiful question. You know what makes Genwise Capital so special is the four business partners. We all have a unique skill set we bring to the table. So you've got amongst us four, you've got two of us that are pretty active in our W-2s. We work in contact center outsourcing, but doing it a very long time. But we are very much kind of networking people and naturally are kind of more or less the capital raisers.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes naturally to us. And then we've got two other individuals, one of them formerly from a private lending banking space, who was able to kind of cut the ties to W-2s, been very entrepreneurial in nature, has done a lot of things around real estate, is very active. She's naturally a little bit more of the underwriter, kind of operational, takes a look at things, can analyze very quickly, and kind of grounds the two capital raisers a little bit. We need that.
Nice. Yeah.
And then we've got a fourth individual that is in the software development space for real estate type software, kind of prop tech type stuff. And so there's a natural inclination towards, building out systems, tools, fantastic at underwriting. So the way that it works today is the capital raisers are also a little bit of hunters. We kind of all share in the hunting mix, but we've got some unique perspective in commercial lending. We've got some unique underwriting, and we're starting to figure out that balance quite well.
Nice, nice. Very, very good. What have been some of your biggest takeaways with the experience so far, Cassidy? Like getting into this, it's been a pretty fast thing for you, starting out with a single family home, short-term rental, and then seeing the light with multifamily, joining forces with a group of other people. What have been some of your biggest takeaways so far?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because there's a lot of transferable things that you can learn in a W-2. And
Yeah.
so I think carrying over just regular cadence, regular rhythm in terms of team meetings, structure, making sure that there's good community checks, that there's, to some degree, there's a nameless, rankless kind of feeling as you go about thought processes and decisions. And
So
so
bringing
those things,
some of the good stuff from corporate into your own little group. Is that what I'm hearing
yeah,
there? Yeah.
you bet. Take the good stuff and leave the bad stuff
Yeah.
behind because there's some bad habits too. So we'll leave those out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, as I mentioned that, we've been able to, because one of the four of us is not in a W-2 today. And so
Mhm.
we've actively asked her to call out some of the bad habits we still bring over into some of our engagements. And it's really kind of funny, but it's worked out quite well. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, Cassidy, this is great. I wish you the very best of luck. It sounds like you got a good team and you got a good plan and you guys know what you want to do and you're taking action towards that. You've figured out which lane each one of you needs to be in and you're well on your way. So if people would like to connect with you, where should they go?
Yeah, go to genwisecapital.com. That's GENWYZE capital.com. We've got a couple of ways to connect with us through there. You can also reach out to me personally at CASSIDY KLUND email.com. We're actively doing a number of things, right? So as we've shared, the fix and flip strategy, build the cash basis, and then get into multifamily. We're also open to consulting on a number of fronts because we've got a good health of experience in single family homes, whether it be fix and flip or just, how do you go about certain situations in terms of trying to finance a home or get an investment property. And so I think we're wide open to consulting as well. And I'll tell you, Dave, that the number of people out there, certainly not lost on you or your audience, that really don't know how to do some things that are probably right in front of them in the real estate space is pretty incredible. So it's fun to share that knowledge.
Awesome, Cassie. Well, thanks very much for being on the show.
Hey, you bet. Thanks for having me, Dave.
All right, everybody, take care. See you on the next one. Hey there. I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now, at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.